Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about Bonnie's video that was released last week about how she's upset and crying and people are upset that she's fishing, and she was just actually fishing for compliments and to be, hey, don't worry about it, it's not your fault. Now we're going to talk a lot about that today because Bonnie's been capitalizing on this in so many ways and she's got a lot of fans. People on the Reddit forums too are like, poor Bonnie, I'm so glad she did a video like this. I obviously have a different take on that, and so let's talk about it. So if you're new to the 8 passengers Ruby Frankie situation, it's just bonkers, okay? It's just been going bonkers. She's going to spend at least 4 years in jail, a little less than 4 years in jail. I'm really upset about this whole prosecution thing. The guy actually did an interview, which we're going to talk about soon too, where he's like, look, the deal I made with Ruby was that I'm not going to get involved in the sentencing afterwards. Like, he's basically a prosecutor can come to 4 years down the road when she's being paroled or eligible for parole and will say, no. Here's the reason why she shouldn't be patrolled, and they have sway. They have power to say things. He made a deal with Ruby that he's not going to say anything come parole time. So it's going to be on the population to do that, okay? So we're going to talk about that soon. But all that to say, Ruby is responsible for what Ruby did. Jody is responsible for what Jody did. Kevin is responsible for what Kevin did. And the sisters, like Bonnie here, are also responsible for their part to play, okay? They're not responsible for the abuse, and I've never said that. It's not their responsibility. And they could even say they didn't know. And to a degree, I would believe that because I wouldn't want to believe that's happening to my nephew either, what we saw. Okay? So I can even believe that she didn't know to what degree was happening. I can believe that. Okay? But we've seen signs of abuse from Ruby and Bonnie. I've never watched Julie's content. I've never watched Ellie's content. Never watched any of it. Okay, I didn't even realize they existed as sisters until the Griffiths video that I did a while ago with the brother that doesn't really do content anymore. So, I can believe that she believes she didn't know what was really happening. But what I won't believe is that she did everything she could. And here's the reason why I don't really believe it. Because if we go back a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when all this was really going on in her world and she knew it was going on, she never said a word. Okay? She cried on camera a lot here. Like, it was all about her and just living her life as if nothing was happening. Now, she knows stuff was going on because she said she tried everything she could, right? Which we don't have a record of her calling police. Maybe she called CPS. Could be. I don't know. That probably won't have a record of that. But everything you could means everything you could. And people were like, Josh, you don't know anything until you walk a mile in her shoes. I've walked many miles in her shoes. Okay, many, many miles. If you've heard my personal story, I don't get really into it a lot about my adopted sons. Okay, but let's just be here. I'll tell you right now. I lived this, and I fought for them, and I got them removed from the abuse. You understand? And it took years. It took years, tons of heartbreak, and letdowns, and pissed at the system and the system wrecking you and taking advantage of you and everything else. Not just the person, but the system fails children all the time. But I also fought for them because that's what family does. So I don't want to hear, Josh, you don't know what she went through, because yes, I do know what she went through. And I did the right thing on the outside. Not saying everybody has the capacity to do what I did. It was, and I'll say this, and I've said it aloud a bunch of times. It was never in our family's plan to adopt children, which just wasn't, we weren't gonna adopt. It wasn't like, hey, let's adopt. It never just was. And that's a lot of people. Okay. We wanted our own kids and just, that was it. And I would never judge people for not adopting, ever, unless it's in your plan. A lot of people, their heart is for that. Their heart is for fostering. Their heart is for adoption. Those people are better than me. Okay. I got lots of friends who do that, and they're amazing people, and they're always amazing people. And we need more people like that. But all that to say, it wasn't in my plan to adopt. We adopted out of a necessity, out of a family necessity, because I didn't want those boys to go into the system. Okay. Now, it speaks volumes that these kids right now are in a system, right? I don't care what you hear about them, how bad those kids might be, blah, blah, blah. Sherry tried to take him, and then he kept running away and all that. Those kids were conditioned to be like that. And we will look at the Pam Botcher video this week, which we will look at. Those kids were conditioned by Ruby to not talk to the police, and it's really quite telling. And it makes them look at like, and again, this all has to do with the parenting. These kids are always the victim of this. But hear me out. When kids get taken into a system, right, into the state or the crown, we're in this, whatever, right? If they get taken into a system, a foster care system, the first people they always call, I don't care where you live in the world, probably all over the world it's like this. The first people they will call is kin. And they will ask them, can you take these kids? Because they always want kids to be with family to some degree. Even with like the person that's abusing them, even like, this is what pisses me off so much about the system, is that they will try their best to just reunite them with their parent, even if the parent is the abusive parent. And the parent barely has to jump through any hoops to do it either. If they've done one small thing, like, okay, good to go back. Like, they want that reunification, and to the detriment of the child. The child always gets secondhand, always. Okay, it always gets, the kid is always the afterthought. And so anyway, I'm telling you that I fought this battle. I won this battle. Okay, and we're better for it. We are not better people, but we're better that, the kids made us better. I'm glad we did it. It was something that I don't regret doing at all. Right? They're still like, I know they're my biological nephews, but they're my sons. Legally, they are my sons because we fully adopted them. Okay? So all that to say, I don't want to hear it. Ruby, Julie, Ellie, everybody in this family, the grandparents who didn't come back from their mission after this happened, couldn't be bothered. Like the Mormon church doesn't want you, like, Mormon church is all about family, by the way. Think about this for a second. How important family is to Mormon churches, to Mormon members. It's so important. Like, their afterlife has a lot to do with the family. And these grandparents couldn't be bothered to come back from their mission. It's more important for their Mormon mission to convert people to Mormonism than to come back for their grandchildren who were being literally tortoised. I'm saying tortoised. You know why. Okay? That's crazy. And then wrote a letter saying, oh, please have mercy. Shut up. Are you serious? Anyway, I digress. So the reason I'm upset with Bonnie, Ellie, Julie, and all that stuff is because they continue to capitalize on this situation. When this dropped, she dropped a bunch of videos about it. Oh, I was going back to see. Like, if you go back 1 year ago, again, just living her life like normal. Does it look like she did everything she could? Like, didn't do one video on it? And a lot of people, that's a controversial statement. All she had to do was do a video on it instead of like, I said it was okay to cry on the internet. Here's me working out. Here's my ass on a bike, right? You didn't do the bare minimum. So maybe she called DCFS, which I actually honestly believe she didn't. Let's be real. She could have reached out to a person at the church. Maybe she did that. I doubt it. Okay. They could have done anything. They could have went on their channel. Look, I'm worried for these kids. I have a platform here I can use. And that's a controversial statement because people are like, well, it's not her responsibility. It kind of is. I'm not even let's agree to disagree. I disagree. If you have a platform and you can help children, then use your platform to help children. Okay. But they use their platform to exploit children. So it's not surprising she didn't do that. Right. And in the meantime, all this is going on. They're building a giant mansion. Okay. The reason Bonnie didn't do anything, didn't help these kids, is because it would interrupt their perfect lives that they're showing on camera. Right? Imagine a bunch of kids came in and they're like, what's going on? And like, well, I don't want it on my channel. She didn't want it on her channels, I'm telling you. They didn't want it on their channels. That's why they didn't help these kids. And again, to this day, all you have to do is say, why are these kids not with kin? That's all you have to ask. Right? Is it that the system deems these parents to not be fit to take these kids? Because that's pretty telling too, right? Or is it them saying, nah, we don't want them, right? Because we know the allegations against the children and they know the allegations against the children and they're likely scared, whatever, to have them in the house. Doesn't matter. There is therapy, there is counseling, there are things you can get for these kids regardless of what you think, okay? They were happy to take advantage of these kids when they put them on their channel and cross-promoted and everything else. But when the kids actually needed help, they weren't there to be found. And I know that sounds harsh. I'm trying to be harsh, everybody. It's not fair what happened. And these people are so damn greedy and so damn selfish and then gets on the internet and cries about it all the time. Completely exploiting skincare for teens. Like, her channel doesn't get a ton of views anyway. Here's her and her sister. 1 year ago, this was going on, and her and her sister like making these thumbnails of them having a big old party on a road trip. Like, I'm sorry. At the bare minimum, as a human being, when you're creating content like this and you're faking this, like, this is why we know this is all fake. Because while she's making this, meanwhile, They're finding out about the craziness that was happening inside their family. And they're just pretending like nothing happened. That's crazy to me. Couldn't even make a video be like, look, we're having a little bit of problem. I don't even want to say what it is. It's inside the family. Pray for our family. Nothing like that. Nothing. Not once. Just talking about her mansion, exploiting her children. And I don't want you guys to forget for a second, because a lot of people seem to be forgetting that Bonnie is also an abusive style parenting mother. Okay. She did blanket training. She talks about how she's not, but she's very, very much like Ruby when it comes to talking about her children. You know, she runs the show. You know, she wears the pants just like Ruby did. And as we found out with Kevin's second interview, wore the pants. We know she's just like that. She made her husband go get hair transplants and do all these things. She got BBL, she got surgery, she got face fillers, she got fake eyelashes. She's completely fake. Okay. And she parents just like Ruby. Now, I'm not saying she did what Ruby did in the end. No one is suggesting she does that. And when people say she's as bad as Ruby, that's not true. Okay? But she's bad. Pre-Ruby, she's just like Ruby. And we know that Ruby was abusive to her children in so many ways, especially the exploitation. Let's not forget that exploiting children is abusive, right? We can agree on that. And so many people in these forums, especially Griffith's Family Snark and Eat Passengers Snark, everybody's like, poor Bonnie. Are you kidding me right now? Bonnie did the exact same bullshit that Ruby did. And when it comes to exploiting children, telling everybody about their privacy, blanket, everybody's like, oh, when she blanket trained, she didn't hit her kids. You don't think so? You think she just like corrected them? No. You know this type of woman because she's exactly like Ruby. You know she probably spanked her children. And that's a controversial subject in itself. I believe in not hitting children. They probably believe in spanking is fine. Okay? In my opinion, Bonnie is scared of what's going to come out. Because not helping your biological family is disgusting. And that's just, again, that's Julie, that's Ellie, that's Bonnie. The reason I focus on Bonnie is because I've been covering her for years. I honestly don't know about the other two, but I will. I'll do a more of a deep dive into their content and I'll take a look for sure. But the reason Bonnie hits my radar so much is because she's the one capitalizing it. I am not my sister. I'm not my sister's crimes. That's the first video she did in this. After cabinet time and sleep over at grandma's and clean with me in my toilet, right? Then she does this video. And look at the view counts from 38,000 views, 147 months ago, she made 140,000 views. Not bad, right? And of course, the one that has 143,000 views over all the ones is her daughter wearing basically short shorts and her butt's out on the ground, by the way. So I need you to, don't forget that, okay? And then this video, which has 664,000 views, completely monetized, capitalizing on the situation. Now, Julie did the same thing and her video got a lot of views too, but then shut her mouth about it. Then holding my head up high while my heart is breaking, 133,000 views. The only way she's getting views on her channels is her exploiting this situation for her crying on the internet. And we've covered those videos. Her just crying on the internet. Oh, woe is me. And she always makes it about herself. And no one seems to care about that. These kids went through such craziness, such horrendous horrors, the likes of which hardly any of us will know, okay? And she's making it about her. See, first steps in tempting normalcy. So she capitalized, right? And then the night we got the call, she's getting 498,000 views on that. And then it's just like, there's my mansion again, talking about mansion, and then goes back to like normal and doesn't get any views. Doesn't get any views. View count dies down. People are starting to get mad at her. 4,200 square foot of brick. Oh, Bonnie, we're so sad for you. Right? Appliance day, moving in, blah, blah, blah. Like, look at it. Just like, look at my giant ass mansion. I just can't stand Bonnie. I hate people who do this, man. Look, her daughter's going in for an MRI scan, almost 100,000 views compared to almost getting no views. Lady surgery, Bonnie's car accident, like surgery. It's all medical stuff. She just keeps capitalizing. She's doing the old school stuff. Because it's all she has left, and it's all exploiting her children. And then she hops in an RV and goes to Florida because she's like, okay, well, it's going to come down the thing. We know that the court thing's going to come out, so let's get out of the state. Now, is that wrong? No. Honestly, these are her kids. She wants them not in the school, which is crazy. Take your kids out of school for all this. I mean, it's so bad she took her kids out of school, okay, to go fishing in Florida, which is insane to me. And just like, look at her, just living the dream in Florida, fishing, and everybody's getting sick of it, right? Here's the one with braces. And her views are just plummeting because people don't want to watch her garbage anymore. right? And then I got scammed, distracting myself, and then boom, this one drops. My genuine thoughts on where I stand Ruby, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is 100,000 views. The reason I'm upset with Bonnie is a bunch of faults, okay? Didn't actually help the kids, didn't use her platform, pretended like nothing was going on at all. You would have known nothing was going on if you just watched their channel. And that to me is crazy. If you claim to love these kids like you say you did in your video. You claim to say the thing, number 2, that you did everything you absolutely could and you did not. That's a lie. You're lying. And you're a Mormon. So, liar. Number 3, you used this situation to capitalize, which, okay, fine. But if it's the only thing going to bring your views to your channel, stop. Demonetize it, don't monetize it. Okay? She knows it's going to make her money and she's capitalizing. So not only does she not help the kids, but she's actively banking off of it. And so I don't care how mean it sounds because this is crazy what she is doing. So I don't even have a problem if you just kept your mouth shut about it, right? You're like, okay, fine, crawl away into the darkness, cool, stay away from it, right? But not her, right? She has to make it all about herself. And that should piss you a lot. That should piss a lot of you off, and it doesn't, and it's making me upset because you need to call these people out for who they really are. She is not innocent, especially of exploitation of children. So don't let that, and I feel like she's getting a big pass because if you go to her comments here, that only has 1K downvotes, not enough in my opinion, right? But she's completely actively deleting comments. That's fine. It's your platform. You can do it. But she's getting so much smoke blown up her ass. Like she did this video because she wants to be like, I'm good, right? Like it's not me. Look, it's not her fault what happened, but how you react to it and what you do after matters. And that's important to me. It's important to those kids. It's important to everybody. It's important to your kids. Those are the cousins, right? And you're just selfish. You're just selfish. But like she deletes all the negative comments and she got like 2,500 comments and people are like, you're okay, man. But of course, I'm going to have a different take on this. So let's take a look at this woe is me video where she's capitalizing and making thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, let's take a look.
I don't want to see you fish again. The fishing is getting excessive. I know. Fishing is something that I can film that I don't have to show my face a lot.
Hey, here's an idea. If you're having a hard time with all this, stop filming anything. Take a break. Go away. Get your kids off the internet. Let them live a normal life out of the spotlight. Go away. You'll be forgotten in weeks. No one will care. Your kids will have a normal life if you get them off the internet now. Go away. But she can't help it. She has to exploit her family because this is the only way she can make any money and afford her giant mansion. This is the only way. So what does that tell you? Right? The only way I can make money is to fake everything.
Fishing is something that I can show that is a distraction for my kids.
You don't have to show it. You can still fish and be a distraction for them without filming it. So I don't want to hear it. I hate hearing these stupid excuses. Fishing is the only thing we can do as a distraction. Is the only thing you can do. Or you can talk to them about it, take them to therapy, maybe stop being a douchebag of a mom, maybe stop exploiting them. That's a good thing too. Are you saying filming them fishing is the only thing you can do in this situation? Because if that's what you're saying, I don't believe you. Nobody believes you.
For myself, fishing, I don't have to talk about how I'm feeling or anything, and it takes me out of my current reality. Fishing is something that
Shut up.
I don't have to narrate, so I know.
I left our mansion in an RV and lived in Florida for about... Shut up.
I agree with you. Why are you deleting?
I can't... It's the just so much the tone deafness of all of their content. These people live in lavish luxury lifestyles where most people are struggling to buy groceries. Okay? And they're like, people are mean to me. You deserve it. Take away the Ruby stuff completely. Right? And your responsibility that you completely shirked. Okay? Take all that away completely. You're still a damn child exploiter. You still abused your kids online. In many ways that are documented. You are still a douchebag. Okay? So take all that away. It doesn't change. You can't sit here and cry. You're the one who put this on the internet. You're the one who made yourself famous on the internet. And now you're sad because you have attention? Okay.
Deleting comments. We are not stupid. We know you're deleting comments. You're not hiding anything from anyone. If you weren't guilty, you wouldn't be deleting comments. You know we're right, and that's why you are. I'm deleting comments because you teach people how to treat you.
That sounds like a Ruby thing to say. You're welcome to not comment here. I invite you to leave. You don't teach people how to treat you. It's never going to change. Well, you can put your stuff on the internet and it's people's right to comment. Now, here's the thing. She honestly thinks she's completely in the right here. But then why are you so broken up about it? If she thinks she has no responsibility whatsoever, then just move on with your life. But no, she keeps making content like this. She's like, don't be mean to me. You put everything out there. The things that we see that you still haven't deleted. Like if you go to her channel, Blanket Time, it's got 231,000 views. Nighttime training, correcting behavior. I bet you if we watch that video, it'll look very similar to the way Ruby is. Look at her, how much she's changed since then. Correcting behavior, 730,000 views. She's even got content with Ruby. If you take Ruby off, you're capitalizing on the content with Ruby, right? Look at the way she's looking at this kid here, okay? Look, Vaseline. I don't know what you're doing there. Bad behavior, dealing with tween attitude. I bet you if I just time out for my 3-year-old, I'm not saying timeouts are abuse. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean? She shares everything she has done. We need to talk for reals. 1.2 million views. And it's a sponsored video. Bribing my kid. Like, if we went through her content, really did, and saw how she behaved, I promise you this, you would have Ruby vibes the whole, and that's people have, and that's why we talk about her, because people get the Ruby vibes. And again, I don't know about Julie and Ellie as much because I don't watch their content. If it's just like it, send me the video. I'm happy to watch it and tear them apart too.
And the comments are speculation. The comments are people.
So who cares? So correct it. Tell us everything you did to help these kids. And then I'll apologize too. You tell me with proof everything that you did to help these kids, and I will completely... I apologize to no end. Delete all my content about you.
Not having all of the information, and so naturally they fill in the gaps. And I've done that myself when I don't have all the answers. My mind tries to fill in all the gaps, and all you do...
Why does she always cry with a baseball cap on? It's just... Stop.
...is...
Your head is not made for baseball caps. Just saying.
Create nonsense. And
nonsense.
The reason I understand...
What is nonsense about not doing everything you can? Why is that nonsense when it's just provable by looking at your content? It's nonsense to see you just living a normal life while your little nephews and nieces are being hurt and abused? That's just nonsense, is it? Nonsense. Yeah, nonsense.
Understand this is because I know you're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. You're trying to figure out how something so horrible could happen when it should never have happened in the first place. So
I think Bonnie is just taking like these comments way too seriously. The people who are blaming her for what Ruby did, that's stupid. No, any person with a brain in their head wouldn't be like, it's your fault this happened. Or it's like you hold some blame. A lot of people are accusing me blaming her. I'm not blaming her for anything that Ruby did. What I'm pissed about is her reaction to it and what her responsibility was afterwards. And that she shirked all of that. All that. None of it. She didn't do anything. That's why I'm mad at Kevin too. Kevin didn't involve himself in the abuse, but he also wasn't there for his children for 13 months. And I think he should be in jail. So it's similar. I don't think that and that's what she's banking on. She's just sitting there saying, okay, you guys think I'm respect. That's what but focus on the other things. Focus on the things that real people are saying things about it. Not these weirdos who are just spouting shit.
I understand why people are doing the things that they're doing. I'm deleting comments because you don't get to treat me the way you're treating me in the comments.
Get off the internet. Turn the comments off. Sure they can. You put your stuff out. Like, I can't be how many times I've had to tell these people this same sentence. You put your shit on the internet. It is now open for comments. Regardless if you shut them off or not. People are going to have an opinion because you put your stuff out there. What don't you get about? You've been on the internet for like 8 years, 9 years. What don't you understand about that? You make bank on the internet, but it's going to come with plenty of hate. I get it too. Just the way it works. Par for the course. What don't you understand about that?
Unfathomable to me to berate someone for their religion.
Your religion was really, really helpful in helping these people, though. So your religion is wrong. If your religion helps somebody like Jody or Ruby to think that what they're doing is based on your religion, that means your religion is wrong. And that's Christianity, that's Mormonism, that's Islam, that's Catholicism, all of them. To some degree, every religion has fundamentalist crazies, and they will act on behalf of their religion, and that is wrong. But the Mormon religion, let's not pretend it's not like one of the craziest when it comes to what they believe, okay? Your religion is wrong. You are in a cult. Don't ever call Mormons Christians. They are not Christians. Mormonism is a straight up cult. Do some little research. There's lots of videos out there talking about the truth about Mormonism. Go watch them. I think I did one. Mormonism is a straight up cult. And it's based on so much fallacy. And a lot of people can be like, well, Christians are a cult and all this kind of stuff. You can say all you want. But it's completely different. Okay? It is a cult. And it is a selfish cult. And they change and make up things as they go. When a new bishop gets in, a new leader comes in, oh, we're changing that now based on racism, sexism, patriarchy, everything. The whole religion is based on that. All of it. And a lot of people can say it about Christianity too, right? But in the end, you would know that Jesus' teaching are not about any of that. If we all just follow Jesus' teaching, which is love everybody, right? And we all completely fail that completely. I do too, right? I'm telling you, you can't, it's not based, like this one is literally, Mormonism was based on racism. Like people wouldn't be elevated to certain platforms because of the color of the skin. They thought that Cain, the curse for Cain's murder was being black. I kid you not, turning people black. And that was the sin on them. And so they were never elevated to higher, black people were never elevated to higher elevation status inside of church. And then they changed it all as they go. Religion, like, you can say what you want about Christianity, but it doesn't change. God is today, same today, tomorrow, and forever. And the past. Not changed. So, I mean, we can get into the religious theology of all this, but Mormonism is a damn cult. So, F off.
I wouldn't ever think of doing that.
You know what I would never think of doing? Exploiting my children for cash. You know? I wouldn't do that either, but here we are.
We're driving down the street and saw a bunch of people wearing their yarmulkes, children, their dads, and my kids asked me, what are those? Why are they wearing those? I simply explained that that was part of their religion.
Oh, you're a good person, Bonnie. Sorry, I take it all back. You're a good person.
And it was a really beautiful thing to see someone believe in something. I have never.
There's lots of people who believe in Satanism and stuff. Is that okay?
And I will never get on the internet and comment on someone's body.
She's talking about me because I call in my comment I said your BBL ass, sunning your BBL ass in Florida. You're the one who got the BBL. I didn't. No one forced you to get it. You got it because you want people to comment on it, but you only want the good comments. So, no. Here's the thing, influencers. If you're out there completely changing your body with surgery, know a couple of things about it. Do it if it makes you happy, for sure. Okay? And some people have absolute reason to do it because they want confidence, they want this and that and the other thing, and I completely understand that stuff. Lifts and fills and all that. I understand that because the world that we live in almost forces you to be a certain way, and it's crazy. And I married a woman who doesn't believe in all that garbage, and just because we're compatible like that. I love my wife the way that she is. Completely, she barely wears makeup unless we're going on a date or something like that. Right? She's not concerned with getting BBLs and butt lifts and breast lifts and all that kind of stuff, and not worry about fillers, and because it doesn't even cross her mind. Right? But the people who live online, they think that they need to do these things, and then when they do them, they want no comments on them. They want no negative comments on them. You get crazy pieces. And Crystal, who completely looks like another person now after a couple years of doing this, like completely different. She looks ridiculous. Okay, if you get fillers and fake eyelashes and butt lifts and breast lifts and tummy tucks and everything else, you're going to get comments on it because it is a toxic thing when you are doing this and telling your daughter specifically that your body's not good enough. You got to get it changed with surgery or you're not good enough. You might not say that outward with your mouth and your words, but you're saying that with your actions. And the internet is a toxic place specifically for young women. Okay? And we just had the Congress with the people talking to the heads of the social media to prove it. Kids are deleting themselves from the world because of the pressure they have. Okay? And you're adding to that by doing stupid things you didn't need to do to begin with. You're adding to it. So many of these women who are on these platforms, and her husband too, so you made her husband do the thing, right? So many of you do this and you don't think it adds to that overall like narrative that you're not good enough unless you do these things. In order to be better, you have to completely alter your entire body. Sorry. I will die on that hill. I don't care. That to say though, like I understand why people do it. Like I do, I get it. Because the pressures that we have are enormous from people who influence us.
It's just, I couldn't imagine how someone can do that because I know there isn't a person out there that isn't worried about the way their body looks.
So then completely change it with surgery? Okay, so that's the justification. That's what she'll tell you. I just wasn't okay with my body, so I took the money I got by exploiting my children and I faked it all. And people will get mad at me. They're like, Josh, you got a surgery to help your body. I was going to die, idiots. It's a little bit different. Okay, mine wasn't a cosmetic surgery. Mine was like, the doctor says, you're going to be diabetic in probably 2 months. You have a fatty liver. Your friggin' resting heart rate is like 198. You got to change this or you're not going to be here for your kids. It's a little bit different. Okay, I'm not going to go get a BBL, even though I have no cake. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Now, I did consider it because I'm influenced by people saying, oh, you're a bald asshole. It doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, this stuff does hit you a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get fake hair, but you know what? I will never do it. I will never, ever do it. Sometimes you got to wake up and just be happy with who you are and tell people you're good as you are. You're good the way God made you. You're good the way you're made. And maybe that's the narrative we really need to be spreading. And maybe that's like the new age of like influencers, because you always hear this too, right? You're like, you're perfect the way you are. Even those girls who completely get everything done all the time. You get Kira's comment section be like, you're perfect. You're natural. You're not. And they're always like, you're just good the way you are. Unless you change it, then you're good the way you are. It's never just like, really, truly, you're good the way you are. We need to be okay with being natural human beings. Okay? Seriously. I'll die on that hill.
And so this person that has at some point in their life worried about the way their body looks, then turns around and berates someone over the way they look. I've got it from every spectrum. I'm deleting comments because...
So then again, why don't you just say, hey, you're good the way you are.
They don't deserve to be on my space. There are enough spots on the internet that you can go to and comment whatever you would like. But on my page, you don't get to do that.
She's right. I'll give you that. It's her platform. She can do what she wants. She can do all the comments she wants. I've never understood that argument. Like, they delete comments. Yeah. Okay, it is her page. She's allowed to do what she wants. But curating only the good stuff, it's fine. Again, her page. And she's right. You can go anywhere and get leave comments. But she's deleting thousands of comments.
All the comments wanting to know if I've seen the photos, if I knew beforehand, it's taunting. And I just...
Taunting or haunting? Because those photos are haunting. They should haunt you.
Can't fathom doing that to somebody. You're not saying anything about what's going on. That means you don't care.
I half agree with that, yeah. You live your life fake online when all this torture and when all this horror is going on behind you. People are going to comment, be like, I noticed that you're making content about like going to sleepovers and like going to Chuck E. Cheese and stuff, while everything, your literal blood nephews and nieces and people are being abused. Like that's something. That there is something there, right? You just kind of, and remember when she said the reason why she didn't speak out was for the benefit of the kids? Do you remember her saying that? How'd that go?
My brain can't even put together its own thoughts.
We know.
There is no words.
But you can't be upset with that, Bonnie, because all we have to do is look at your content and you completely just plastered over it. You just completely plastered over all of it with sunshine and rainbows. You don't get to have both. Be like, oh, I just did that for the sake of my kids. What, you exploited your kids for the sake of your kids? Are you serious? I don't know. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
And I will not talk about them.
You're talking about them now.
For so many different reasons. But on top of everything, I will not talk about them.
Oh my God. Just cut it and come back. Again, this performative garbage needs to stop. This is performative, right? She's doing this on purpose because she wants to get that. We're so sorry, Mama. You're doing a great job, Mama. No. You don't get to performatively sit here and cry. Because again, she's making it about herself. This is about her.
Because there is no one closer to being my own children than these kids.
So then why didn't you do more? Why are these kids still in foster care? Nobody seems to be asking that question. Why are these kids still in foster care? Massive Griffiths family out there, okay? Lots of them. Tons of them. A lot of family on Kevin's side, I imagine, too. Why are these kids still in the system? It's a very, very, very important question. And I'm not saying they need to go with her. I prefer they didn't, honestly, true. I agree with that, right? They shouldn't be because she's terrible. But there are other people, right? Even if she wouldn't be like, look, I wanted to take them in. And it didn't work out because even if she's just honest, look, I got a channel to run here. I don't even know if I'd be upset with that too. But the reason it doesn't bring these kids into this system with them in their home, in their giant new mansion they just built, which they have enough room for, by the way, is because they have to film their life for money. And that's just going to add hurdles. That's all it's going to do. And that's why they didn't do it.
And yes, I knew everything that was shared in the media before the media knew.
Okay, I thought... Okay.
And I don't know what's worse, finding most of it out all in one day. You only know what's been approved to share with the media.
Yeah.
All of those blocked out spots in the journal, all of the journals that she had that didn't necessarily pertain to the criminal case, all of those.
I thought she didn't want to get into it. She's getting into it.
You know a fraction.
Yeah, she's right with us too. We do. The things that we don't know.
You know a fraction.
But it sounds like she's saying you don't know, and that's probably why, we don't, like, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like she's saying that's why they don't have the kids with them. That's why they're not taking care of the other kids. That's what it sounds like to me.
And everything that I learned was just in little pieces. Just little pieces.
You said, okay.
Along the way. So.
You said you got it all in one afternoon. She just said, learning it all in one day is crazy, but everything I learned was all just in pieces. Which one is it?
Every day, I have felt like this. Every day, I have felt...
I. How many times did she said I in this?
Haunted.
And so what did you do about it? That's where I'm upset, everybody. That's where I get upset. Because she's like, I felt so bad. I felt haunted. I, what about me? My feelings. I cried, tears. Okay. Then what did you do to mitigate that, feeling that disaster in your life? What did you do to help these kids, to ease your guilt? Because I don't care what you say. And a lot of people don't agree with me on this. Family's family. And you do what you need to do for family. Okay? What did you do?
I did not see the photos beforehand. So for all of you that have been sending them to me, you really have done something there.
Why didn't you see the photos? Did you not want to see the photos? Because that means something too. Why don't you want to see the horrors of what happened? Now, I understand why regular people don't want to see this stuff, but you need to see that stuff. And I know certain shiny clowns are upset with me for showing the photo on my Instagram and on my YouTube. Okay? You need to see it. This is a comment that someone sent me. I think it's good that we saw those images of their sores, as it shows us what being detained against your will looks like. There's so much weird shit going on nowadays with trafficking and we need to be aware. I totally agree that the father should be charged with some form of parental neglect. I agree. Seeing the wounds didn't make it worse for the kids or more embarrassing. It validates them. Now, I posted a comment about why I showed those videos and I didn't monetize the stuff. It got taken off YouTube, not on Instagram. You need to see that so that just like we watch things like the Holocaust and we see history of all that stuff and what happened to the Jews and the atrocities that we see, so we don't repeat them. And so we can see the signs of that stuff going on. And so it's fresh in your memory and you should stay angry about it. You should be upset about it. It should make you so angry that you want to go protest when it's time for her to come out of jail. That's how angry I want you to be about this. I want you to go peacefully protest. When we find out when her parole meeting is, or whatever that is, we are going to protest because the world needs to know, because this prosecutor isn't going to help. He made a deal with her, which is crazy to me, and he didn't need to. She literally wrote down in her journals that she was guilty, and this guy made a deal with her that he's going to be like, yeah, no problem. I cannot fathom it. Okay? You need to be angry, and so should you, Bonnie. So should you.
You're doing your due diligence. Me, I. The only thing you care about is yourself. This is not about you. Get off the internet.
Fully agree. It sounds like something I'd write.
I 100% know
agree.
who the
Darn
victims are.
And yet here you are crying in your $100,000 RV that you left this giant, huge mansion, $1 million house you just built, probably $2-3 million mansion you just built. Here's the thing. She's doing these videos because she has to protect that mansion. Guys, her content is dying out and she has to protect the mansion. That's all that matters to her. Money.
100% realize that I was not the one tortured. I see so many comments. Trigger warning. This is difficult to watch. Trigger warning. Or if you need help after seeing this, make sure you get help. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. All these compassionate strangers for each other. But if I say anything about how it's affected me, I'm selfish, I don't care, it's all about me.
No. It's how you're coming about it. Of course it's going to affect you. It should affect you. We don't think that you're immune to it. It should completely affect you more than it affects everybody else. That's the problem, though. Because your reaction to how it affected you is the problem. You should be outraged. You should be like, I want those kids in my home, my giant mansion I just built. I got enough room for them to come live a normal life. I think Julie or Ellie, one of them, built another mansion. They're selling it because they probably lost everything too. You guys all have mansions. You have a place for these kids to stay. They're cousins that they love. None of you did anything. The grandparents stayed in their mission. There's an empty house. For the love of Joseph Smith, there's an empty house. None of you. It's not that you should be upset, and you have a right to be super upset about this. You do more than anybody else in the world. It's how you reacted to that. It is your answer to that we're upset about, that I'm upset about. That's what I'm pissed about. So spare me this. It doesn't work here. That dog ain't gonna hunt. Those people saying stupid stuff, she's only focusing on these really weird comments that nobody really believes in. And that's the problem. She doesn't want to answer the real questions.
I know I'm not the victim. I have been directly affected.
So what she meant to say was, I know I'm not the victim, but I am a victim. She's claiming victimhood status in this whole thing, by the way. That's what she just told you. She is a victim. Not the victim, but a victim is what she's saying. So she just got a comment about how she makes all about herself and she disagrees and then just made it about herself. Don't miss that.
I can't think of a way that I'm not affected by it. And I know that people will just rip that apart. That's just the reality of it. At
least you understand the reality of it.
That's the truth. How can you pretend like nothing is happening and go on posting?
That's my question.
I think it's just my defense mechanism.
No, it's your making money mechanism.
Being away from everyone and everything and turning my phone off is...
You're like, turn my phone off, and then they post videos on Instagram every day with their phones.
An escape. And that feels good momentarily at times. There's literally nothing I can do. And the reason I move forward is because I have hope that those kids, they showed a lot of fight. They didn't just stop fighting and just...
What?
They kept their fight in them. And if they can do that during their torture, they can come out the other side.
What is she saying? Yeah. With help that they didn't get.
And I think and I hope that they will have a normal as they can. This will change them forever. All of them. All 6 of them. Just because all 6 of them weren't in that room.
I thought she wasn't going to talk about it. It's so weird to me.
I want the very best for all of them.
Do you want the very best? That's nice to say that. It's the thought that counts.
And they're all going to need a lot of help. I want to be very...
But is that help going to come from you at all? No? Okay.
Clear that I do not support Ruby. She doesn't need mercy. She doesn't need justice. She needs a jail cell.
That is justice. But I agree with her on this. And this is the only thing that's redeeming about this whole situation, her saying what she's saying right now. And she's saying it the most clear-eyed, which is good. Right? She's saying here, she deserves a jail cell. I agree with her completely.
And I can't even think.
Oh, and someone mentioned, I think, and if you go to 8 Passengers Exposed on Reddit, which is my page, someone had made the comment that she said that in direct retaliation to her parents saying that she needs mercy and justice in the letter that they wrote, and we'll read that someday, to the judge, right? Imagine knowing what happened to your grandchildren, but still going to bat. I don't care. At that point, you're like, no, judge. Throw the Book of Mormon at her. Hit her right between the eyes with it, please. I mean, even your Book of Mormon would probably condemn her for what she did, right? And so she's saying that in direct retaliation to her parents. So there's two good things about this. Bonnie's on the outside. Hopefully this enables her to leave the church too, because the church is a cult, right? But she's also on the outs with the Griffiths, right? She's not part of all of them sending money to the commissary account. She's not writing letters to the judge. That's good. Bonnie on that side is really good about this, right? She knows that her sister did wrong. She blames her sister and is completely that. And I love that. That's great. And she deserves a hand clap for that, for sure. Because the other people who are supporting Ruby in jail after what she did to her children, shame the hell on you. And we are going to uncover that. And we are going to berate them for doing that. Okay? She doesn't deserve commissary. Okay? Rot with prison food. Okay? You don't deserve any of it. And she's right about that. So you got to give Bonnie props where props are due. Good for her for saying it.
Beyond that, I believe in justice and mercy, and I think both of those come in time. I think that the mercy needs to lie at the feet of the children, not at Ruby's. And
is there someone playing basketball?
And that's where I stand on that. I'm so self-conscious about saying anything about myself.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Because
no, you're not. Your entire channel. No, you're not.
The thing that has been jammed down my throat is how selfish I am for saying how it's affected me.
No. Like, okay, sorry. Yes, people are saying that, but that's not what I'm saying. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. It should affect you. And you're not selfish for talking about it. You're selfish for monetizing it and making it about yourself. Yes. But if you were truly upset and angry, and it sounds like you are, but your actions do speak louder than your words. And that's where I get upset with this. I'm upset that your actions didn't align with your words.
But strangers on the internet can talk about how this has affected them. They're so sad and I can't believe this.
Is she gatekeeping the sadness about the abuse of these children? Is that what she's doing right now? Because that's really weird.
Is happening, but I feel like I'm not allowed to say any of those things.
No, say it from the rooftops. Be upset. Throw her under the bus. Get angry. We would respect you more for it. But also follow it up with the actions, because you are kin. You are family. That matters. We're not. All we can do is get upset and expose it. We can't take these kids in and help them. None of us can do anything but that. You can. That's the difference between all of us.
I physically get ill when my kids accidentally get hurt. I physically get ill when I...
Does she physically get ill? Midnight ER visit. Lincoln's in the ER again. Emergency gallbladder remover. Another ER trip for Lincoln. Toy and boy co-surgery. A day at the doctor's. Does Olivia need surgery? Operated in the wrong body part. Might have cancer. ER visit to traumatizing and can't show it, but shows it. Glad Cody's okay. Unexpected visit to the ER. Do you get so physically sick then your kids get hurt? Or do you turn the fucking camera on? Which is it? Right? You can't just sit there and say something like, I get so upset when my kids get hurt, like it's debilitating, I get sick. And then in the same moment, every time you go to the doctor, this is you. You can't do it. I'm sorry, you don't get to say that. You don't get away with that. Because you don't. You're lying right now. Because you capitalize. If you can capitalize on your kids getting sick and hurt in the ER and doctor and braces and everything else, don't lie to me. Okay? Because if it's debilitating for you, you wouldn't be able to vlog about it. Okay, so spare me.
I see their feelings get hurt. I feel like I go into panic mode a little bit.
No, you don't.
And as soon as I do, all I can see...
Can't say things like panic mode because panic doesn't allow you to pick up a camera and vlog it. Okay, sorry.
And here are the hundreds of comments that I'm deleting saying, you're just like her. It's like...
You are just like her. You are just like Ruby. And that was before the abuse. We all could see that you guys were very, very, very similar, especially in your parenting tactics. We saw it. Now, you're not just like Ruby as in you're going to take him out to the desert and want him to get kicked by a horse and fall into a cactus. We know you're not that level of abusive, but you're just like Ruby. Don't even say that. You know you are.
I mean...
She just wants you to be like, well, I'm not like the worst of Ruby. Okay, fine, but you're like the other one, which we still have a problem with. Okay, still good.
The point that I wanted to say was that I wanted to speak to the people that care, because the people that have been mean they don't deserve that time and energy from me. But it is just...
But here's the time and energy that you don't deserve. Here's an entire video of time and energy. I hate this. You don't deserve my time and energy, but here's an entire video of my time and energy, which I'm going to capitalize on.
It's just the reality, and so I wanted to address it.
Yeah, I wanted to get paid is what she just told you there.
And the only reason that I feel even the slightest bit brave enough to say anything at all, or to keep posting, saying the nice comments, that just doesn't do it justice. Those that hear what I'm saying without me actually saying it.
What? What?
People that...
I'm hearing what you're saying without you saying it. I'm just hearing the other side of it. People just like, I get that. People want to know that you're not capable of being a douchebag. And I get that. Somebody you've probably watched for years, you don't want to think that they're capable of being an idiot. But the truth is, people, is that they are. People who share their lives on the internet for cash, they're selfish. None of them are normal. You are a narcissist. A lot of them are psychopathic. Okay? You cannot be a normal person and do this. It is impossible. Do you understand? Let me reiterate it. You cannot be a normal person, a selfless person, if you share your life on the internet. It is impossible. And those who have fallen for the facade, you're dumb. Okay? They are faking it. And all you need for proof of that, if you're looking for from Bonnie, is during the period of time when those kids were being tortured and abused, look at her content. That's all you need to know.
Actually care and actually feel bad for the situation and not dissecting it and picking it apart and just understanding that there is so much more to it than what's being shown and said. Oh,
we know there's so much more. That's why we are dissecting and picking it apart. If she's upset that people like me are dissecting and picking this apart, you serious? That's because you're not saying the thing. You're not proving that you helped. You're just capitalizing on it instead. That's why we're upset.
I think I just had to say something and share a little,
so my view counts were going down.
A little tiny piece of my heart for those that actually care. And I don't even need you to care. I don't
tuna on your hat.
Need you or want you, or I'm not asking you to leave nice comments. I don't know. I just had to say
stop being a baby. Grow up.
Something, and I know it's so pathetic.
Here's the thing that she's crying about, though. This is what's getting me. The thing that she's so much sad about right now, the thing that's making her cry the most, is that it's the stranger comments. Bad or good. This is what's breaking her down. This is what she's crying about right now, is the comment section on her YouTube videos. Don't miss it.
To get online and cry, but the whole point was to show.
It's not about me, it's about me.
To show how we live, to show, and this is just life. There are so many ugly...
Yeah, exactly. To show how we live, to show how this is just life. Then what was going on just life during that period of time, right? You don't get to sit here and say, we're just showing you just life, it's real. And then for that whole year, nothing? Even though you admitted you knew before it all came out? So that's what we're talking about here.
Sides to life, and it's just not always cute. It's not always pretty. It's not always nice.
We know, but you keep showing that it is. Isn't that odd?
I just physically couldn't just keep going. Like, it's just all too much.
Yeah, is it? Gosh. Who can listen to this bullshit?
And honestly, I think a big reason that I just keep doing what I'm doing because...
Money. Because I built a mansion and I have to get money. The reason why you keep doing what you're doing is because of money. Whatever she says right now, don't listen to it. Do you think any of that money's been saved for her kids?
There are so many people that deal with so much trauma. Real trauma in their lives, and real sadness, and real heartache. And you all keep going.
So the reason she keeps doing, hear what she just said. The reason I keep doing this content I'm doing is because there's real trauma and sadness in the world. So what, you combat it with leaving our mansion and RV to go fishing? That's how you combat that? Okay.
There's no other option.
Yeah, there is. Get off the internet. Get a real job. There is lots of options. There are tons of options. Lots which include not exploiting your kids, by the way, too.
There's no other option.
Yes, there is. Don't say that. Don't be so stupid.
If you can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Why do I feel like I need to say I'm sorry? Why do I...
Because you should say you're sorry. Don't apologize to us, though. We don't need your apology. Go apologize to those kids that are still in foster care right now. How about go apologize to them?
I know I'm not doing it right. I know.
Well, that's true.
I know I could do it so much differently. I don't know how.
Yes, you do.
Just doing what I know how to do. I'm just being myself, and I'm just saying what I'm thinking, and there's nothing.
That's the problem.
Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with just trying, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put a ring light on in my RV and
getting on the internet and crying. I don't know.
Shut up.
Thank you for being compassionate towards my family and caring about us.
No, don't throw your family in there. So what she's trying to do is like, okay, anybody who comments on me is commenting on my family. No, your family are the victims. Just like Ruby, your family, you're not the victim at all in this. You are not the victim. And she keeps wanting to make herself the victim, and she said it in this video. Your kids are. Ruby and Kevin's kids are. You're not.
And thank you for reading between the lines of...
You're welcome.
What isn't being said.
Oh, we did that here. But she doesn't want to hear my read through of the between the lines. She doesn't like my take on it, though.
Between my forced smile... I'll tell you what it does show me.
So does she want us to be like, okay, I can see through the thing that you're all faking and lying, and so Thank you for that.
Is that I really do care about who is on the other side of this camera.
No, you don't. You don't know anybody.
I care that this is how other people feel.
No, you
Different
don't.
situations, but it matters to me.
No, you don't. Or you wouldn't delete all the comments.
How other people feel, the sadness that they go through, that matters to me.
No, it doesn't.
Deep in my heart, I know that the kids will be okay. I do.
How do you know that?
I think it's going to be a really long road.
You think?
But I think they're going to be okay.
You will not be to thank for that, though. That's for sure.
And I think I'll be okay.
Oh, you're going to be okay, buddy. Okay. Oh, my
Anything
gosh. Oh, my. I don't make it about me. I think I'll be okay in this. Oh, my gosh. Does that not infuriate you?
My family will be okay. I don't know how
Oh,
to
my
end
gosh.
this song.
My nephew and niece were completely tortured and abused. I think I'll be okay. Well, that's good, Bonnie. As long as you're going to be okay.
I'll just end it there.
Yeah, good. Should have ended it before you even started it. That was bullshit. Sorry, that's upsetting. That's crazy as she gets away with this stuff. And it's making me angry because there's so many people like, good for you, Bonnie, clap, clap, clap. Did you even listen to anything she said there? It's like they're not even listening. That's what we do here at the Dad Challenge Podcast. We say the things that a lot of people are thinking that don't even want to think it. I say the thing that some of you guys are thinking, and I do the faces a lot of you are like, that's my face too. Bonnie, you're gross. Okay? But let's reiterate a couple of things. You are absolutely able to be and should be upset about the situation. Infuriated rage should be coursing through your veins at all times for what your sister did to your nephew and niece. Okay, you should be upset. You have the right to be more than we do. It should affect you more than it affects us, and hopefully it does. Absolutely. No one's saying that that's not your right. That is absolutely your right. But what you do with that rage and that upset really matters. You say all the things, and yet you don't walk the talk. You talk, and you don't walk it. Your actions speak louder than your words in so many ways. If you can say one thing about these family vloggers and influencers, it's that your actions matter more than what you say. And that's why influencer culture is so much bullshit. None of them walk the talk that they speak. None of them do. But you wanted to focus on that. Oh, people say I can't be upset. Who says that? No, you can be. You should be. So do it. Be outraged and help those kids. In spite of your sister, be somebody better. Prove to everybody that you're better. You have all this money and mansions and all these things. Help these kids. But you know what? They can't even help their own kids. All their money is gone. They spent it all. I hate these people. She does not deserve the love that she's getting for putting this shit out there. Not at all. For monetizing this stuff. Nah, she does not deserve it. And I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill. What do you think in the comments below? Take a deep breath. Tuna. Her hat says tuna. Imagine making a video like this with a hat that says tuna and your head doesn't fit the hat. But you guys, your head fits your hat because you're nice and you protect your kids because you're good people. Thank you for being here. Thanks for helping with this message. Comment below. I know this is going to get a lot of people fired up and I want to hear it. Good, bad, the ugly. Let's do it. Okay? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. You are valuable. You are incredible. Someone has a crush on you. I will see you when I see you.